Calling all units, calling all units. Donut Shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.
All right, here we are. Already
See
cursing on the mic.
I see you brought your own mug. Salute, my brother.
Salute.
Welcome.
Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the Donut Shop podcast. I am your co-host. One of the hosts is with the most. Nick off duty. What's going on, guys?
What's up, guys? I'm Justin from Davie.
Today we have a very special guest. We usually let our guests introduce themselves. Go right ahead. What do you got?
Welcome, Ben. That wasn't very
Outstanding.
good.
You gotta,
Outstanding.
You gotta do a little better.
Yeah.
We've been here talking for like
Yeah.
35 minutes. And Ben was completely calm.
Yeah.
The cameras were actually on, and then
Yeah. He's like,
and then we say, "Yeah, we're on," and he goes,
You had to swallow that thing. He's like, Ben. What's up, man?
What's
going
up,
on?
everyone? Ben here.
Yeah.
"Try and here. You can move this back. That way you don't have to lean forward
There you
every time."
All right, should we do it again?
So if you guys don't feel, we're rolling.
We're rolling.
If you guys don't feel this connection that you have, this is actually one of Justin's friends, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
One of my friends. I
Yeah.
work with Ben, where I work.
Yeah.
So we're kind of co-workers. I'm gonna keep talking about work.
Yeah, you're like, I got this guy. I got
now
this guy
I'm dancing
Ben.
around.
Yeah.
You got me nervous.
You're like,
yeah.
I got this guy Ben. I think it'd be good for the show.
Yeah.
Not only is he law enforcement, but he also has a YouTube channel. We could talk about that. I was like, yeah, let's do it. So it just so happens that you are in a position, because we have a lot of aspiring police officers that listen to the show, right? And you're in a position that people might come into contact first in their lives. You might meet them early on in their lives and have an impact early on in their lives. And that's being a school resource officer.
Absolutely.
All right. So we're going to talk about that this show. And then we'll also talk about, we got to plug it because I know you have a mug laying around somewhere that you brought.
I do. I brought my own mug.
Yeah. And we'll bring that out.
Plural. He brought multiple mugs.
Multiple mugs. He's got multiple hands, man. He's double fisting.
He's rocking it.
Yeah.
So we'll work through some of Ben's illustrious career.
Yeah.
And then
Which you're heading towards the end.
I am.
Getting towards the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
26 years as a certified police officer in the state of Florida.
Nice. And you're
Holy
going to do
moly.
another 4 and change, right?
4 and change, and then I am done.
So 30 years.
It'll be 31 total when I walk out the door.
So you got a little bit of experience.
Just a tad bit.
Just a little bit. I'm
some
38.
of us call him Old Man Ben.
Old man Ben.
Yeah.
51.
Or Old Ben.
51. Look at that. So 51, 26. How old were you when you started?
25.
You're 25. So did you go to, let's talk about before you were a police officer.
Okay.
Yeah? So we already got the gist. So what did you do before you became a police officer?
I went to Cooper City High School.
Hey, Cowboys.
Cowboys, baby.
Bam.
Yeah.
Pistol Pete. Pistol
Yep.
Pete. Papa. That's when they used to have Pistol Pete. So I wear a shirt that says Cowboys baseball sometimes. And everyone's like, oh, apparently Ohio, there's a Cowboys in Ohio, some college. Sooners. Is it Sooners?
No, that's Oklahoma. Yeah,
Oklahoma.
but yeah,
Sooners.
yeah.
Oklahoma.
But they are the Cowboys.
They are the Cowboys.
Yes.
It's the Sooners. I'm sorry. So, but they're like, oh, I can't believe you're wearing that shirt. They don't know that it's a local thing. Cooper City Cowboys. Pistol Pete.
Yes.
And that's a funny thing because, logos, especially for like higher end, like the professional sports teams and sometimes the college ones, they migrate down to the high schools because why reinvent the wheel? I remember when my high school, Western, one of Cooper City's competitors,
Yeah, the Wildcats.
same district, they adopted like the Kansas State Wildcat logo, that kind of tribal looking Wildcat.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was big because before that we just had like a front view kind of like basic, not that exciting Wildcat. And then they went to that one. And it's just, a lot of schools pick up those, logo styles.
So I got a lot of poopy in the comments for wearing that shirt. Just want to dispel some people's alarms. I went to Broward College. Huh?
Yeah,
So I'm a
Seahawk.
Seahawks fan.
Seahawk.
Yeah. How about that? No one represents them. Oh!
For so many years, I had no clue that there was actually like a mascot for Broward College.
Yeah.
Like that they even had,
I don't want to take away from this episode because we got Ben here.
Yeah.
All right. But somebody dared me because I used to play baseball there, but I hurt my arm when I played there, so I was redshirted. What redshirted means you're sidelined medically. Mm-hmm. So, but I had to go to the games every now and then or whatever. So they're like, I dare you to wear the Seahawks costume. if you wear a Seahawks costume to the game, you'll get an A in this class. Okay, so you know where this dare was coming from. It was coming from the teacher. So I put on. They have like they dusted it off. The big.
Oh, so it was actually the school's
giant Seahawks costume, and I ran out in the middle of the game, and no one knew I was doing it. I just came in from the back gates onto the field, and I'm going, ah! Stop the game. Everyone's just like they take off their hat and they're scratching their heads. The game.
Did you interrupt? You interrupted.
I interrupted the game,
But he got that A.
but I got the A.
got
That's
the
all
A.
that matters.
Yeah, you're just working
Yeah.
hard.
You see how I tied it into school?
Yeah.
He's a school resource officer.
Yeah, work
There you
hard,
go.
play hard.
That's it. So so that's a fun fact. Going back. So
So Cooper City High School.
Cooper City High School,
College?
graduated, went on to Flagler College out of St.
Flagler.
Augustine, Florida.
yeah, did you play sports there?
I ran cross country.
So usually people that go from here up that way, they play some kind of sports.
Yep.
It's a random college.
I ran up there on a scholarship
Yeah.
and graduated from there with a bachelor's in business administration.
Nice. So you actually ran up there.
I did. Ran all the way
from
from Fort
here?
Lauderdale all the way up there. 308 miles.
There you go. So Flagler College ran cross country, right?
Yes, sir.
And that you carried that on till today because you were talking about that you still have some involvement some sort of way.
I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I kept running even after college. I was always one of those outdoors persons. I had to be running. When I did graduate, I was an assistant coach with a buddy of mine over at St. Thomas, and then that kind of died out because of the police career. And within the last 8-9 years, I guess, I got back into coaching again. I'm now a head coach for a local high school where I coach the cross country team and the track team.
Nice.
Any championships?
So we do have 2 district championships from a
Nice.
couple years ago. My boys' team, my girls' team, one year was district runner-ups. The cool thing about it is I actually got to coach my high school daughter when she was there.
Wow.
She graduated though, I think 2016, and I'm currently coaching my 15-year-old daughter who's there.
Nice.
So it's kind of flows into the hanging out with the kids, what I do during the day,
Yeah.
and what I do in the afternoons.
So when you won states, don't you get a ring?
No ring.
Toe ring.
It wasn't
the
a state.
feet?
It wasn't
Yeah.
a state championship. District championship.
District championship.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So cross country to people that might not know, there's a difference between track, running around the track,
Correct.
right? So just explain real quick
So
the difference.
cross country is a 5K course,
Mm-hmm.
3.1 miles, and both the boys and the girls run the same amount now. When I was in high school, it was different. The boys ran 3 miles and the girls ran 2, but I think it just got to be the point where they were tired of having to set up 2 courses.
Yeah.
And all the equal stuff for women, so they did it. And
Is it all pavement?
No.
So
It's in
that's-
parks, golf
Wow.
courses, trails, some hills.
So is there
Not many here in South Florida.
No. But is there obstacles or is it just like
No
flat?
obstacles.
No, it's just
It's not.
flat
Yeah,
ground.
it's not like what is that?
mud
Olympic-
runs?
Yeah, mud runs or something, or
Yeah.
steeplechase.
The
but that's with
steeplechase, yeah.
horses, you
Okay,
know.
but I just. Are you talking about the horse, the people that jump over the little bars and stuff?
Yeah, but there's
I'm
but
not
no,
doing-
but there's like an event where they do like a track in the Olympics called the steeplechase, and you have to do different jump styles and jump over just like rivers or like ponds kind of thing.
Well, that's what I figured. Maybe there's like a little shallow river that they got to run through sometimes, or no?
No, I mean they do get wet.
Yeah.
There's some mud out there.
Yeah.
But the horse thing jumping over, that would be my daughter Savannah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter does that.
Oh, okay. Well, there you
He's
go.
giving shout-outs.
So,
Yeah.
so going back, how do you coach? Like, what do you got to do? Breathing
Yeah.
techniques.
Hey, run.
No, the thing is that there's a science behind running, and I have a lot of recruits that come through the academy. Okay, this is for the people listening that are like, oh, I want to get in shape and I want to run, because in the academy you have to run a lot. Okay, there's a science behind running. It's not just form. Breathing is huge, right?
Breathing is huge. Yes.
I tell them, and tell me, correct me if I'm wrong. I try to get into a rhythm because I ran a lot in baseball. If you're not pitching, you are running. So I get into a rhythm where I do 2 giant, like, so I'm sniff, sniff, blow, sniff, sniff, blow.
Kind of like Lamaze.
Sniff, still like, and I'm able to keep that rhythm and run and run and run and run.
No, it's
Am I right or wrong?
Breathing is huge. I actually had a girl that was on my team that I coached that used to breathe only through her nose. And when I finally convinced her to open her mouth and take in that good air into her mouth, into
Yeah.
her lungs, improved her time tremendously.
So I always thought it was better to breathe through your nose.
No.
Like
You got to get as much.
And it made
So
you
are
stronger.
you all mouth or how do you?
You got to have that mouth open when you're running, unless you're running through a big old bunch of gnats and bugs and stuff and on one of those training courses, or you don't want to be breathing only through your nose. You want as much oxygen getting in there as you can.
So no nose.
Well, I'm not saying no nose.
Yeah.
Nose and mouth.
Nose and mouth.
But don't just be running like this with only your nose, you know?
Yeah. No, because I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but having a rhythm and being able to have a cadence when you're running helps you go longer. Because that I heard people like, and they eventually they either get cramps or whatever. And the idea is to get the oxygen, right?
Yeah, so the control is probably better.
Control
Just
breathing,
controlling,
yeah.
So like what you're saying, and then I always found like, say in the academy, running like especially in groups, I could almost run longer if we were doing cadences, military style, because you're singing, you're saying stuff, and whenever we would do like testing in the academy for running, I was always trying to talk and say things to like get my breathing going and yelling or talking to other people as we're running and stuff, just because if I just shut down, then I'm probably just like taking little baby breaths, and then I'm going to tire myself out faster.
And there's a lot of truth to what he's saying, because running's mental.
Yes.
It's all mental.
Yeah.
But when you're in that academy and you're training with 30 other recruits that you guys are all trying to be motivated, you're all trying to get to the end, graduate that academy, that's what you want.
Yeah.
But when you're running a race, you don't want to be exerting that extra energy by singing or making noises or, calling cadence and stuff like that. You want to finish that race ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
What about talking trash? Do the cross-country kids talk trash to each other while they're running?
I got some of these high school boys that they like to talk some smack. They do.
Hey, watch out for that rock.
Yeah.
Nice shoes, slowpoke.
Yeah.
You know what though? That is.
Dropped your pocket.
Yeah, but that messes up the other person's concentration and might slow them down a little bit.
Yeah.
I can't believe this guy said that to me.
Yeah.
How
How dare he? This is running. We're very dignified.
No, but absolutely true about the cadence thing. I found as though I can run forever with some kind of cadence. Do you ever? What do you recommend checking out like mentally when you're doing? Like that's why when I used to run. After the academy, whenever I decided to run it, it's like almost like a relaxation. Where if I had like a stressful day, I'm gonna go running, and then I check out mentally, and I'm just doing the run. You're not like looking at everything as you're running. Like what
for me, that's it for me. I mean, you get that runner's high. I'm sure you've heard that before. And
I do it. I get about 3/4 of a mile in to the first mile.
Yeah, and with these kids, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, we train them that you got to work through it, got to work through the pain, and there's ultimately that goal at the end. Especially when they know they're working for some sort of district championship like we had, to go on to regionals, even go to the state meet. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, but that's interesting because I know that it existed. I'm just like, but how do you? I guess you just run. How do you get better at your times? Like, how can I improve my time?
Well, you gotta add some distance to what you're doing,
and
then you got to throw some speed and some strength training in there.
So, what's some of that training consist of?
Well, right now, before this last race, my girls just ran their last race yesterday. We were upwards running 8 miles a day.
So,
and then we were doing some speed training where we're doing mile repeats or half-mile repeats and things like that.
Fastest mile I ever ran, 5:47. Is that good?
That's good.
Yeah?
I think I got you beat, though.
No, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you do.
5:47, that's very respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, that was in freshman year in college. And I learned, we did on the track. I would sprint the straightaway, and then like do the turn, and then sprint, turn. But the turn was a good stride. But I would turn it up, and I got 5:47. That was the highest.
Now, if you would have leaned into it on the turn,
and
kept it going, you could have probably been another 5:30s.
Really?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? That's some good stuff right there.
Yeah. So, and that's why you got a coach that, you always got to have a coach to kind of give you that extra set of eyes and look at things, and then come from experience.
We need a coach for this podcast.
We should. I wonder if Rogan's available. he likes to teach.
So you did some running.
I did.
Yeah. Any foot chases in police work?
Oh, yeah.
And you were able to get them?
Yes.
And you weren't even out of breath?
No.
No.
I remember one distinctly that I was chasing somebody, and a guy kept looking back and couldn't understand why I was still there. And I yelled up to him, "I'll chase you to Key West and back. Let's go." And he finally just stopped.
Yeah.
Because he knew he was done.
Sprints, they're good.
Yeah.
Sprints, like, when people run from you because their adrenaline's kicking and the sprint's going, I learned to keep pace, and I just keep pace, and I just advise, and I'm advising, and I see them just advising with a good stride, and they keep looking back, like you said, and you're like, no, you're good, man. I'm waiting for them to get here. Like, he's running towards the supermarket, he's in the parking lot.
Yeah, foot chases are fun.
Yeah,
But, and that's one of the other things is they're running for like a scarier purpose because they know most likely they've committed a crime, so they're afraid of getting caught and stuff like that. Yeah. So there's a different physiological response than what the officer's getting. Hopefully if the officer's in good shape and stuff.
Rule of thumb, foot pursuits. If they run through a neighborhood where people hang out outside and they witness the chase, well, if you catch them, you better walk them through the same way they run so they know, hey, that guy can run. Like they go, damn, the officer caught him, damn.
Yeah.
It's the walk of shame. Walking back, you need a marked unit? No, I'm good. I'm going to walk back this way.
Going all the way back.
Yeah, you see what happens when you run? Yeah. So that's just, and if you don't catch them, then you run, then you walk back to your car another route.
No, you have your buddy. You have your buddy pick you up.
Yeah.
Hey, meet me over here. Pick me up. Take me back to my car.
Walk of shame.
You go back another route. Yeah. So that's cool though. That running is a big thing in police work too, because you don't want to overexert yourself, get there, and now you're in a fight. That's a big thing we teach too.
Yeah.
You run, you get there, now you're out of breath. Oh, by the way, this guy wants to fight. He's not going out without.
Got to be able to hang on.
Yeah. So I guess that helped you out tremendously.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the time. Let's take a quick break, but when we get back, we're going to talk about a little bit more about your career, what you did and stuff, and then start getting into what you do now.
Yeah, it's a school resource. We got a lot of questions about that.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right.
We'll be right back. Hey guys, are you hungry? If you are, head over to Big Slick's Deli, home of the famous Rugama cookies. Big Slick's Deli is located at 15455 West Dixie Highway in North Miami Beach. If you want delivery, they use Uber Eats and Grubhub. And officers, they've got you taken care of.
And we're back. How about that break?
That was a good break.
How about that commercial? It was a good one, right?
Nice.
I just want to mention real quick because people are probably looking at my shot saying, hey, this guy's beard looks a little weird. Got a weird beard.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of messed up my mustache and everything. I kind of look like I went, what's the dad's name in Addams Family?
Gomez.
Gomez, yeah. I went with the Gomez mustache.
I did.
Mamushka.
I was Gomez for Halloween a couple years ago, and I did not have my own mustache because I can't grow one.
What is it? The mamushka. Do the mamushka, and then he swallows the swords.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Maybe this pocket knife, but not a sword. All right. I just want to touch on that. People were like, this guy looks a little different. That's all right.
It has been another week.
So before we start getting into the SRO thing, I just want to tie in the rest of, because I know we got off track.
Off
you see
track.
what I did that?
Oh, look at
that. We got off track. But let's talk about leading up to becoming a police officer. Any odd jobs, or what did you do after you got out of college?
I was a lifeguard.
Yeah.
Working for a city park, and it was good stuff.
Yeah.
But I knew I wanted that career in law enforcement.
Buddy of mine, lifeguard too. Shout out to Matt Williams. He was a lifeguard prior to, and then he became a law enforcement officer as well. I guess it's just that service, man. Trying to do the right thing, help people out, save them.
Helping that community.
Yeah. So then you, and it's funny that you say business administration, right?
Correct.
No criminal justice.
No criminal justice.
Did you have any thought about going into law enforcement back then?
When I was in college, yes,
Yeah.
because my buddy was working for an agency in Broward.
Yeah.
And when I came home for my spring break and winter breaks, they had a ride-along program, and I used to ride with him.
You got hooked.
And he was also a coach, and he was also into those foot chases. So when I saw what he was doing, I knew that was what I wanted to do. I wasn't the type of person to sit behind a desk as like an accountant. No offense to accountants.
No offense.
But just didn't want to have a secretary bringing me cups of coffee. I knew I needed to be doing something fun.
My wife is an accountant.
Oh, no.
But she's good. She loves her job. She
Good.
loves numbers.
And we love
order.
that she loves her job.
Yeah, she's our bookkeeper too. So
Again, like I said, no shot at accountants.
no. So no criminal justice, because that's what I'm saying. People are like, do I go to school for criminal? They don't usually sound like that, but I just make
Yeah.
that voice. Do I go to school for criminal justice? Nobody really sounds
No.
like that. This is my voice when I hear it in my head. And no, you don't need that.
don't.
Business administration is actually good to go up in the ranks, no?
Correct.
Yeah. So that's a good thing to carry on if you want to.
And then you can, it diversifies, because you get, I mean, heck, with some police academies, you can actually get credits towards, depending on where you're going to school, you can get credits towards a criminal justice degree
Yes.
for attending the police academy, depending on where you go to the police academy.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a degree and you get into the police academy, you start your career, you might be able to utilize those. But if you were somebody like me who already had a criminal justice degree, those credits aren't going to go towards anything
Yeah.
specifically to benefit me other than I'm getting my job.
That's interesting that people don't know that you go through the academy, you can earn credit
Yeah.
for criminal justice degree. So I might even have a master's without even knowing. I
Yeah.
gotta go check out
By
that.
this time, hey, you're actually a professor.
I might call me
Technically
doctor.
right now. but,
Dr. Nick.
That's it.
but yeah, I mean, Dr. is a Simpsons character. But it's I don't even remember where I was going. Oh yeah, diversifying
Yes.
your actual education is helpful. But nothing against people like me that have criminal justice degrees.
I went
'cause
to school for criminal justice.
It was fun. It was fun.
I tell you, easiest math to get by. I think I had liberal arts math.
100%, 100%, buddy. That's
Yeah.
exactly why.
We have 3 mugs, and if you take away 1 mug, how many do we have? I was like, that's easy. That's 2.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Here's your A. That was definitely one of my things because in high school I was not a math student.
Yeah. I wasn't good at math either. Algebra, why are we having the letters? This is math. These
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What is that about?
Yeah, you haven't done foil in a while.
What's foil?
First, outer, inner, last.
Oh.
Remember that from algebra?
I
No.
do not.
I just remember whatever the other one is please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Yeah. What's the other one that's the Mars, Earth? It's a mother. I don't know, whatever.
Holy moly.
It's
If you have
the-
any
it's the
idea
solar
what
system.
if you have
Don't
any
remember
idea-
that one.
Do the solar system in a thing.
Yeah.
Whatever.
If you have any
Well,
idea what we're talking about, you can comment down below.
I
Tell
do
us
remember
how.
the foil one because we were just talking about it when I was at school the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about some of the things that we took in school for classes, and we really said, are these kids using foil today?
I still have no clue what foil
What
is.
you- it might
that
be
was, that was the algebra thing where
thing.
when you get to the parentheses, the first, the outer, the inner, and the last.
Oh, okay. There was an acronym, but
Yeah.
they just
That
changed
was-
it from foil.
that was the one. Ours was probably please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Okay, so
parentheses,
remember, I am
exponents.
51.
That's right.
Yeah.
There was no
Running 5 miles a
calculators.
day, but I am 51.
There was
Yeah,
no
that's how
calculators
That's how
in
you do
his
it with an
day.
abacus.
Yeah. He had his online with. For those who are listening, I made a typewriter joke.
Yes.
Listening, they can't. I try to make sound effects.
That's
for them.
right. This is a podcast.
Where the hell are we?
Yeah, so we're going through Ben's
All right,
education.
I got you.
and then
I'm
into-
back. Sorry, I know you're supposed to be leading, but you did your degree. Then
Degree.
what did you do?
Lifeguard,
Lifeguard, and now police.
police,
Straight to police.
service aid first for a year and a half.
What is a service aid?
Service aid is a civilian employee who some work inside the police department, some work outside the police department, handling accidents and non-in-progress calls.
Okay. so-
Accidents, delayed thefts. Unfortunately, grandma goes to Publix, gets the purse stolen from her shopping cart. They handle those type of calls.
and non-violent too, like
Non-violent.
has to be non-violent, right?
Correct.
And
Not in progress.
Not in progress.
No arrest can be made.
I believe they write misdemeanor tickets
Yes.
for
Misdemeanor
accidents.
traffic infractions.
Yes.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about physical, no physical.
No, they don't carry handcuffs.
Yeah, they do. They do get trained. Because we had a class come through, and they go through the same academy as the police recruits. However, their academy's shorter and it's tailored because they don't need to know the extent of defensive tactics, handcuffing, and all that stuff. They do get some defensive tactics though.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, they do get, and because they carry pepper spray.
Oh, okay.
that's good.
OC, and they have to go through OC.
Oh, wow.
They have to get, because in order to carry, you have to get exposed.
Right.
Yeah.
So and which I'm still in the debate. I'm like, why don't we get shot? We carry a gun. We should get at least in a fleshy part of our body, you know?
Yeah.
Shoot me in my butt cheek.
Okay.
In the meaty part.
That's a joke.
The meaty
Yeah,
part.
That's a
I don't know, man. Yeah. What?
Well, anyways, so they have to go through. So did you carry any weapons on your belt?
I carried a knife.
Carried a knife, but that was unregulated in your sock. Orale.
No, it was actually on my belt.
Oh, okay.
Never knew if I had to cut somebody out of a seatbelt for an accident scene or something like that, so I had it.
I like the way you use it as a tool, not as a weapon.
Exactly.
I like that. And it was like, that's all a knife? Well, that's a knife.
Yeah.
Was it one of those Crocodile Dundee knives?
No,
Or was
no,
it
no.
A little
Or
donut.
was it a
knife?
No,
little donut shop?
It was bigger than that donut shop pocket knife there.
It's not the size of the knife, it's the sharpness of the blade, my friend.
Nice.
So now, did you find it easier? Because again, a lot of aspiring police officers. Did you find it easier to become a police officer? Kind of like the agency gets to know you, what you're about, your work ethic. Man, this guy's a worker, good dude, starting to get to know people. Now you go through the process, and the background check is like we kind of know already who Ben is. Is that something?
No.
Am I right there? Help me out.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Because when I got hired as a service aide, the chief told me, if you work for us as a service aide for a year or so, we'll put you in the academy as long as you do good. So they got to see what I did.
Yeah.
And literally within a year and a half, I was in the academy.
And that's true to this day. There's many agencies out there that will take service aides. I know, shout out to Doral. Doral does that, and it's a requirement that you have to be a service aide for
Interesting.
prior to becoming a police officer.
No.
I'm not sure the extent of the time, but I know you have to be a PSA as an acronym for the police.
I was
service
actually
aide.
glad I did it because it made it so much easier. FTO was easier. I knew the city. I knew the radio. I knew the other officers because they had came in, maybe saw me working the front desk or saw me on the road. So I knew who I was working with, and it worked out a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, especially in our agency, they handle a lot of report writing, which
They do.
in your field training as an officer, the report writing is a lot of times where some of the deficiencies lie. So if that part can be knocked out, it's easier for the trainer to focus on making sure everything else is tightened up. And so you definitely get some of the best officers out of that. Report writing wise.
And not only that, you have a leg up in the academy. I see it. We had a class one time that had, I want to say 7 or 8 PSAs because they went through this agency, and we had a couple that were with our agency that were PSAs that made the transition over. But they had a leg up when it came to all that, because essentially you go through the same curriculum, but just tailored. So you see it in your mind. The law and all that stuff is a little bit more in depth, but however, most of the stuff is like, oh yeah, I remember this. And fun fact, I taught, I no longer teach it, but I taught vehicle accident investigation, traffic crash investigation. There it is.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I don't teach anymore. No. So
You obviously pushed it out of your brain.
Yeah, no, but I'm like, because I've been off the streets for 5 years, I'm familiar with everything, but they've got out literally into the academy and they've done thousands. I said, how many have you done? How many? So it was like thousands between the 8 of them of traffic crash. So I kind of had them chime in a lot. I'm like, so because they knew it, they were doing it. So
Yeah. Refresh me a little bit as I'm teaching you. And
I know it. I
Yeah.
know you're gonna, and I have never had a failure, and everyone passes with high scores. I don't know if it's an easy test or but it's they were just like they were practicing it, and I'm a big what's it called proponent of if you have life, like they come in with life experience. You're coming in with life experience. You're not a booger-nosed little kid that doesn't know anything. And you know stuff, and I give that to them because back in the day, maybe when we went through rookie. You know, you're going to learn the way that the world is now. You know, it's like, well, forget everything I know. You know, show me your ways. You know, now I'm more like, tell me about yourself. What do you know? And I boop, 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 and then comes in. But anyways, you got a leg up is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I was getting long-winded.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Justin was kicking me under the table.
Yeah.
So getting long-winded there. So now you got a leg up, PSA, police officer.
Yes.
So we already went over how many years. How many years in patrol?
I did 7 years in patrol, and then I did 4 years in narcotics.
Wow.
About a year or so in a traffic unit. I was driving a ghost car for a little while.
Nice.
And then went back to the road and then got into the SRO gig.
What's a ghost car?
It's a car that's got it still says the department's name on the side of it, but it's hard to see.
Yeah.
And I was in a Charger.
And
yeah.
I believe we did a police cars.
About a very similar Charger.
It might have been this, it wasn't that year.
No, yeah, it wasn't that Charger.
Yeah, but we did so in essence, it's in, if the car's black, it's in like a shade lighter of writing.
Yeah.
No, it's dark gray.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It says police. And some people there was some pushback on that. That's not fair. you can't be in that. Can't be in a car like that. And I don't know if they talk like that, but in my mind, that's the way I read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back to, you said you were in narcotics. Go back to narcotics and how was that? You know,
4 years. 4 years.
Narcotics was fun. It was interesting. Learned a lot. Back in the day when I was doing it, I was in 2001 to 2005, and big time for MDMA. Ecstasy was big back then.
Ecstasy, yeah.
And we used to do a lot of control buys of what they used to call a tank of ecstasy. It was like 1,000 pills.
Nice.
But we had some good times in there.
Was that at parties and stuff? Did you have to go undercover in parties?
We had some guys that did that. I did some undercover work myself.
Yeah.
Remember going into a house and buying some crack cocaine from somebody.
Nice.
Yeah, it was.
You don't really look like a crackhead.
Back then, I was a lot skinnier. You know,
Yeah.
marriage life. You know, the wife cooks for you. You know, you put on a few pounds. But yeah, I did pretty good back then.
So you filled out.
Yes.
So you did you get into the role? Did you do antics, or you just were straight up like, hey, I'm a drug dealer, but what's up? What do you need?
Yeah.
What would you do?
It was.
You're a cop.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
a cop.
Yeah. Cop.
Listen to him.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
cop.
No, a lot of it was set up through CIs.
Okay.
Through our confidential informants.
Yeah.
You know, I bought some pills from a girl in a parking lot of Walgreens. She went in. She had a prescription. She went in to get her pills, and when she went in, there was no power in Walgreens, so we had to trip down to the next Walgreens. It was like 2 miles up the road. Well, they were out, so we went back to the original Walgreens because their power came back on, and they were able to do the prescription. And she walked out in the parking lot, sold them to me, and took her into custody.
And that's not ecstasy, by the way.
No, that
I'm like,
was-
what kind of prescription is that?
Yeah.
Walgreens?
Yeah.
Doctor, I'm not feeling good. Well, now you're gonna feel real good.
Yeah.
Take some of these. So, because to go back around that time, the pill mills.
Yeah.
That was big, right?
Big.
Pain clinics. And
It's pain
stuff,
clinics, Roxy's,
The
and
Roxy's, the
Oxys.
Oxys, and that's what it was. That's what I was buying from her. She had a prescription for it, and you know, of course, when my wife saw the video, she's like, "You're so mean to her." I was like, "Well, I wasn't going to tell her I was a cop. You know, I wasn't going to be nice to her. You gotta, you gotta play the role."
And that people don't understand the South Florida area, especially Broward. That was a big area. People would come from all over to buy that.
The
those
Midwest, they came down from Kentucky, Ohio. I mean, when you used to run into some of these people and you were making some arrests, where are you from? Oh, Kentucky, Ohio. And it was like Illinois, and they couldn't get it there, but
Yeah.
they could get it here.
Yeah, and so a lot of the pain clinics opened
Yes.
up, and it was cash cow, man.
Big
cash
time.
cow.
Yeah, it was insane. There was one that was right next to a sub shop that we used to always go, or we still always go to, and he had great tint on his front windows, so you could just sit in there, and these cars would pull up,
Yeah.
even if there was police cars in the parking lot. They just pull up because they had a script and they were just doing it legit, that they felt, but they just pull up and they've got Kentucky plates and stuff, and then you just work it from there.
Yeah.
And
Fun fact: it was legal. Like you had a doctor's prescription.
Mm-hmm.
This was a place that was certified to deal this stuff, or I say deal, but they prescribed this. It was legal.
yeah, and most of the places were, doing logs for the DEA, because when you have those scheduled drugs, those high-level drugs like Oxy,
Yeah.
there's a DEA ledger that they have to do, that they have to give to the DEA all the time, whatever certain amount of time. And
But then there was then they started cracking down and got harder with the restrictions and everything. And then the deal. I mean, you tell me. You were the narc guy back then. You dealt with that.
Yeah, it started drying up.
Yeah. So what changed that made it what changes made you able to make these arrests and affect these arrests? Was it the fact that they were getting it prescribed and then right there in the parking lot, like, yeah, it's this much money?
Well, they were also up in the sentencing phases for the trafficking in these pills, and I mean, if somebody had 40 pills, I'm talking 40 oxys,
Yeah.
and the weight hit, you were getting 25-year minimum mandatory.
Wow.
So I think also some of these people from Kentucky and Ohio, even though some of them weren't even getting these pills for themselves, they were going right back to Kentucky and Ohio and selling them for $40 to $50 a pill.
Yeah.
And making some serious, money off that. But I think they finally realized, I'm not going to take that chance for 25-year minimum mandatory.
So would they get charged even if it was their prescription?
Yeah, because they were turning around and selling it right to us.
Oh, well, there is what I'm saying.
But if they got
the
that
parking
prescription and drove right back up to Kentucky, they're good. But when they're trying to sell it to somebody in a parking lot or sell it to a CI, that's where it
well, they're not
wrong.
good, but they're good for that jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Then they go up there and then they broke the law. Yeah.
And they might have got caught up there.
Yeah, it's true.
Or they got caught somewhere on the turnpike on the way north with way more pills than what a person would normally possess.
Yeah, I guess more than a prescription amount, right?
Yeah.
Well, anywho, you
Yep.
got tired of it, or you just were like, I need some change, or what happened?
My second daughter was born.
Yeah.
And came out of the unit because, listen, family means a lot, especially in this type of work. And so we needed to make a change for taking care of the little one and things like that.
And those type of units pull a lot of time from the officers because, similar to what you see on the TV show, it's all times. It's mornings, afternoons, nighttime. It's, hey, we got something on the phone. Can you get here in 20 minutes? Okay, on my way. Or you're sitting there watching a target for a while. So it's not necessarily conducive to excellent family life.
And also with our unit, there was, when you were given your letter to go in that unit, you'd said in there that after 3 years you could be pulled out of the unit. I think they wanted to do some rotations. Yeah. And I kind of knew my time was coming. And so it just all happened at a good time, and my daughter was born, and then it went good from there.
There's only so many buys you can make before you're like, I know you.
I know that crackhead.
I know you.
That's why we use a lot of CIs, though.
Yeah. You're starting to fill out. Did you get married?
Yeah.
I know that crackhead.
Yeah, right?
That's one of the reasons. Not only do you change out policemen or woman, you change out cars. Did you guys have rentals, or did you guys have
lease vehicles? Yep.
You had lease vehicles.
Yep.
Yeah. So we had
they're like rentals.
People have rentals.
Yeah.
It's easier. You get a contract with a rental car company, and then after a certain amount of time, you switch it out.
Yep.
I found throughout my career, I noticed that the opposite end, the other team, the bad guys per se, they caught on to that. And now they were like, well, we're going to do what they're doing. And now the rental game is big. It used to be old Nissans, old Toyotas, easy to steal. We're going to steal that, and we're going to do our business. Now it's, we don't need to steal anything. We're just going to rent this under
some person.
Yeah, like
some person we know's name.
Yeah, somebody 3 steps away. He's going to rent the car. We're going to pay them to use that rental, and then we're going to. So we're on to you, bad guys,
SUVs
and gals.
Yeah, because then we get on the road. We would get the calls from the rental agency saying this person's not turning in their car.
Yeah,
and then you go talk
stolen.
to
stolen vehicle report.
You go talk to the rentee, the person they rented it, and they're like, I don't know, my cousin's friend borrowed it, and they just needed me because I had good credit. And it's like, well, they're messing with your credit, and now you're listed as a suspect in a stolen vehicle for not turning in your. It's a mess.
Yeah, it's but you could. It's good like that though. And in a way, you're able to track it down.
Yeah.
So we're on to you again, like I said.
Yeah.
So 4 years narc.
4 years narcotics.
3 or 4?
4.
4 years narc. Good to go. You suggest it for people to mix it up in their career?
It was a good time. You learned a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I was actually writing search warrants. I'd go to judges' houses and knock on the door, get welcomed in. He'd sign the search warrant. We'd leave and go hit a house.
Nice.
So, I mean, you get to see where the judges live.
They're living good. They're living good. Got some heat recently, and I want to bring this up in the comment section about marijuana. So I was like, well, it's not and I just want to put this out there. You don't have to comment on it. It's not the officers. The officers are, well, we get the paperwork that says this is the law. Well, we're law enforcement, so we have to enforce
The laws.
these laws. So they had gripes or something because I think with McCrink's episode we talked about not disqualifier, but where people lie on polygraphs is usually drugs and usually some kind of marijuana is involved. So somebody got into the comments and they were flipping out about I called it the devil's lettuce. You know what I mean? The marahuni. You know what I mean? So the sticky iggy. So they're like, you joke about it. Long story short, cops do have sense of humors. We're human, and if you don't like the laws, go to the legislators' Instagram and go in their comment section.
Tell them that they're
We just enforce them. We just enforce them.
Yeah, we just get our marching orders. So you went into SRO.
Yeah.
We will probably jump into a break.
Yeah.
And then we can just crush the SRO stuff in the third segment.
So SRO, a lot of people have questions. SRO stands for
School Resource Officer.
Yeah. Rewarding. Right. People might think school resource officer. Oh, what are you, some kind of security guard? You know what I mean? No, that's a rewarding.
Extremely rewarding.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that after the questions, and then we want to plug your YouTube channel. That's right.
Nice.
Look at the see that smile.
Nice. Yeah.
He got the Joker smile on.
Reason why he's here.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Donut Shop's favorite game show, Dumb No Puns, where you've got 3 seconds to game that pun. I don't care about no Bustelo football, pilon all day. Anyone rolls up on me? Roast yourself, fool. If you guessed Mug Life, then you got it. You're a winner. Give yourself a round of applause. Catch you on the next episode of Dumb Mug Puns. If you're a winner in today's episode, please head over to DonutShopPodcast.com where you can collect your prize. All prizes to be paid for by today's winners.
Justin, I don't know if you noticed the red lights, but it's time to wipe that smile off your face and turn your hat backwards like over the top Sylvester Stallone. Here we go. It's interview and interrogation time. Justin still hasn't had sound effects, so I have to do my own.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, he's working on it. So this is the part where I polled the audience.
Okay.
Told them you were coming, what position that you are currently assigned to, and they had some questions about a school resource officer. Thank God for them, because we have talked about nothing to do with school resource officers. So we're going to get into it here, and then we're going to keep it on, or keep on, keep it on. Here we go. So I'll take the first one. You got the other ones?
I got them.
All right, so I'll take the first one. This one's by @meep1. MEEP _ MEEP1. So meep. Who does it?
The Roadrunner.
Roadrunner. All right.
So maybe they're a runner.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Are school cops real cops?
Absolutely. 100%.
All right. So you have the same authority to effect an arrest. You're still sworn officer, carry a gun, drive a marked unit.
Yes.
Wear your vest.
Wear your vest, your body camera. State of Florida certified.
Boom. And you're not in another agency. You're not working for the school board. Can you elaborate on that position of a school resource officer, where you report to and all that stuff?
So I report directly to the school Monday through Friday. Every now and then we'll go to the police department to turn any kind of paperwork in, but my day starts at the school and my day ends at the school.
But you work for the same police department that you've always worked for. It's just a unit. I'll elaborate because I was also in that same unit.
Hey,
it's the same. It's just a unit within the police department for our city.
Yes.
Some cities and schools and jurisdictions do have different departments, maybe just for the schools, but in our city, it is our police officers that patrol our schools.
Correct.
So in the counties bordering us north and south, in Miami-Dade County and in West Palm Beach, they actually have a school board police. That is it. There's also sworn law enforcement, but they are just, their jurisdiction is school board, the schools. Yeah. In Broward, they don't have that, but they have officers in the jurisdiction that the schools are that are assigned to those schools.
Yes,
Hence,
correct.
school resource officer.
Yep.
Yeah. Broward County does have the county government, not the sheriff's department, does have a school board police department, but they're more of an internal investigations type for the schools, and they do a little bit of assistance with enforcement in the schools, but at least in our city, it is just us, that kind of thing. So I will move on to my question.
So just to go back, you the popo.
I am.
All right.
All day, every day.
All right. Sounds good.
I don't know if this is maybe a burner account for you, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
This is Nick T, Nick period T, 777.
Yeah.
Asks, what motivated you to want to become an SRO and leave patrol?
It's all about the kids. I love being around the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I was before I became an SRO, I was involved in our car seat program. And also involved in our Police Explorer program. And at the time, my daughter, who was born, that I left narcotics to go back to the road, she was coming up to kindergarten, and it was just going to be a good fit for the family. Not everybody wants to work Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Some of these guys love the 4 days on, 3 days off, however it works, with road patrol.
Yeah.
But for me, it worked out good. And it
So
was
you
something
work
I was.
5/8s?
I work 5/8.
Yeah. That's good. Shorter days.
Yeah, you're done. You're done by 3:00, and and off you go. You got the rest of your day. I mean, you don't have like a full day off as much, but you've got more to do. And I'll elaborate on the guy who may be nervous and thinks he's in an interrogation because the red gives you opportunities to continue what we talked about before with your coaching.
Absolutely.
Put you on that schedule, and a lot of school resource officers use that to for family life and for those outside giving back to the community and stuff. So
Yeah.
they're bigger into the community sometimes.
He went into full deposition mode.
Yeah.
Like I was a defense attorney.
He is.
Yes.
He's like, hands are folded in
Yeah.
his lap. He's a little
No.
nervous.
Are you a school resource officer? I have no recollection.
No independent recollection, sir.
I do not recall at this time.
I'll have to check my notes.
Yeah. So we need to get a defense attorney in.
That just in case anybody is new, those are the way that you answer deposition questions.
Yeah.
We have the Miranda card and the how to answer deposition questions card.
Oh, they're
Here we
coming
go.
out soon. DonutShopPodcast.com.
Yeah, we'll have it on the other side of the mug that we have blank. So here's another one from Useless 0301.
Okay.
Okay, and you're not useless. This is a great question. How? To go back to sum up that last question, you got to understand Ben loved kids.
Definitely.
Okay, so Useless asked this question: how has COVID affected SRO from a daily day into work? So basically, has COVID impacted your daily duties as being a school resource officer? I cleaned it up a little bit.
Yes. We, at my school where I'm at,
Yeah.
around 1,000 to 1,100 kids. And you know what that means for a carpool lane if you've ever been.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Lots of parents.
The drop off.
Nobody does carpool anymore as far as, 3 and 4 kids in a car like when we went to school.
Oh, true, yeah.
It seems like parent drives 1 kid to school, so
Yeah.
1,000 kids could mean for anywhere between 600 to 800 cars coming through that carpool lane.
Yeah.
But so how many kids so you have 1,000 kids enrolled in the school. How many kids?
You what kind of school? What grade level are you?
I am in an elementary school,
There-
kindergarten through 5th.
There you go. All right.
So
Sorry.
they're not driving to school themselves.
Okay.
The student
We
party.
probably should have said that in the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to understand out there, elementary school. But Jay, you were a school resource officer. What grade level did you do?
I did elementary school for a while, and then I did high school.
Okay, sorry.
But let me work because I'm going to taper in through that question.
Yeah.
You said 1,000 kids. How many are currently coming due to COVID and stuff, and
So
with
right-
what we're doing here?
Right now, we have about 250, maybe 260 kids that are physically in school Monday through Friday. So carpool lane, much simpler.
Cake.
Much simpler.
Yeah.
But and then the rest are all doing the virtual.
They're doing the
all that good
online.
stuff. Cool.
So how has that affected your duties? You're just like carpooling. I got this. What about else? Anything else?
Actually, the cafeteria, it's crazy. I mean, it used to be so loud in there, and the kids were having a good time.
Yeah.
Now you walk in, and it's like, it's depressing.
Yeah,
you
it's
walk
like
in, and these kids are, because not only are they in there with their masks hanging down around their chins, but they're all sitting on these little X's at the tables, 6 feet apart. They can't really talk to their friends. And that was their, like, get it out of their system time. They're in the cafeteria, you know, teacher just taught me all this math and crazy stuff for the last 4 hours. I need to get it off my chest. They can't really talk to anybody. You know, and I feel bad for them. I mean, so, you know, you try to go in there and, you know, spice it up a little bit, you know, walk by, fist bumps.
It's so funny, and I try to explain this to people, and they don't always understand what I'm saying. But I go, especially the kindergartners and stuff. If you could harness like Monsters Inc., like harnessing the laugh or harnessing the screams. If you could harness the energy that exudes out of a kindergartner's body when they're in school, because they're in the classroom, they're doing their thing, but then they get into, and then all of a sudden the energy's just boiling and bubbling out of their body, and they just need to do stuff. And the little kids are all, because I don't have kids, so I see it here, and it's just so amazing to watch that. And a part of my job is to fill in for SROs when they need to leave, and I was covering for one of our coworkers at an elementary school, and her daughter happens to attend, and so mom told me, hey, go say hi to her at 12:15, and so I went in there to see her, and I kind of snuck up behind a pillar and stuck my head around, and I'm watching her. They're watching Frozen 2 while they're eating the same thing, 6 feet apart, kind of very odd looking, and she sees me, and you could just see it. She wanted to pop up and like run to me, and I'm like, no, got to set example, you know, but I'm also saying that with a mask on, so you can't do some of the nonverbal like facial expressions. So it's like, no, just stay. I'm coming over, and you know, and I'm standing like 6 feet away from her, and I'm like, air high five. Like it stinks. It stinks. And as SROs, and I know you've even got more stories about it. You know, with just going around and opening milks and high fiving kids and stuff like that. It's a big deal.
I'll trade you my snack pack for the Twinkie.
What?
Oh.
The Twinkie. I want the Twinkie.
Oh my! The trades, man.
The fist bumps and the high fives are, you know, they're minimal compared to what it used to be, and it's hard. Because, you know, when you said something before, is it rewarding? And I said extremely rewarding. And it is. And to not be able to do the fist bumps and the high fives with these kids, it's hard. It's rough.
Do you get kids how long you been there now?
This is my 10th year at the elementary school.
So 10 years from, let's say you started and you got maybe a third grader and they went through. Do you get kids coming back to say what's up to you?
Absolutely. I actually just saw somebody at the store the other day. Hey, aren't you Officer Ben? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like looking at them. Of course, they're all grown up now. And, I had such and such when I was there in 5th grade. Kids are in college now. When I first started, you know, when they were there.
Shout out to Officer Bell. My school resource officer in middle school used to buy me Cokes for 50 cents, but I had to provide the 50 cents.
You had to provide the 50 cents.
From the teacher's lounge, okay,
because
that's a
you guys
big
didn't
thing.
have access.
We weren't allowed to get in there. So I would give him the 50 cents, and he would go in there and give me my Coke.
Hooking it up, man.
Officer Bell.
Nice. I wonder if Officer Bell knows who Nick off duty turned into.
Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
Man.
Like, I'm the guy with the Cokes. So, big impact. I still remember my school resource officer. Here I am, just out of high school. And I remember my school resource officer because you do have an impact. Awesome.
We didn't do this one.
Thanks for being prepared, Justin.
Was
that my question?
Such an exciting.
No, I did useless.
You did. Yeah, you did.
So shout out to useless.
So I'm going just underneath useless.
3.
And so we will go with Robbie B3.
Robbie.
And this, I think, can kind of segue into what you may have brought with you. What is the most rewarding part about being an SRO? You touched on it a little bit in the last one.
Yeah, it's definitely the kids. I mean, you had asked earlier about why did I go from road patrol into SRO, and for me, it's all about the kids. I'm with these elementary kids in the morning. I go coach the high school kids in the afternoon, and then there's even days when I'm done coaching the high school kids in the afternoon, I go back to the police department and I do my Police Explorer meetings with the kids that want to be Police Explorer.
And those go all the way up into college.
Yeah, they go all the way through to age
21 years old.
Yeah, 21. So, but
any 21-year-old explorers?
No, we have
We have-
a 20-year-old.
2 right now that are 20.
Some agencies don't allow you to become a police officer until 21. Some 18, some
Right.
21. So at certain agencies, you might be in the Explorer program until 20, and you're going to go in to apply it next year, just to put it out there.
Right,
Yeah.
for
All
sure. Yeah, definitely a coming up program.
Which essentially is like a ride along, and like doing a lot of community service stuff, right? When you're that much older, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But does that question roll into your mug or anything like that?
Yeah. So the most rewarding,
Yeah.
You
So
brought
this
a mug.
is actually 2 stories.
Go.
I'm going to go with the first one because
Do
this
it.
was my very first day as an SRO in the elementary school. I walk into the cafeteria and here's all these little kindergartners and, I'm like a rock star in this cafeteria. These kids, hey,
Hell
officer,
yeah.
waving at you,
Yeah.
want to open up your cheese sticks and milk cartons and stuff.
Yeah.
So I walk over to buy this one class and this kid just sitting there bawling his eyes out, crying. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with this kid?
Yeah.
So I sit down next to him, start talking, what's wrong? And he's like, I miss my teacher. And I'm like, no, your teacher's in the teacher cafeteria eating over there, and you
Yeah.
got to eat here. So we start talking. He tells me his name's Sebastian. I tell him my name. And so calm him down. He's all good. His teacher comes back and, hey, I just want to let you know, Sebastian, he had a really rough first lunch here. And, just, keep an eye on the guy, And
Yeah.
she's like, hey, that was really cool, So at the end of the day, principal says, hey, can you go over the kindergarten release? Because when these moms come to pick up their kids for the very first day, they like rush the door like a rock concert.
Yeah.
You gotta get
Oh,
there,
yeah.
make sure these parents stay in line. So I'm standing there, the first kid goes out, hear a name, Sebastian. Kid walks out, goes up to his mom. She's got his arms. How was your day? It was great. Turns around, points at me. That's Officer Ben, and he's my new best friend.
Nice.
Oh my gosh!
Chills.
Went home with a lump in the throat.
Yeah.
Got home.
Yeah.
So guess what? My daughter's kindergarten.
Yeah.
Sit down, talking at the family dinner, and how was your day? Tell them all about Sebastian. And for the next 5 years, always would talk about Sebastian
Nice.
while my daughter was in that elementary school. So things like that. And then, I met my buddy Officer Austin here. I got a mug that I brought with me.
There he goes.
Austin was in our school, and I have a autism cluster in my school.
Mhm.
And nonverbal, didn't speak very much, just little words here and there. But he would walk all the way around the whole part of the parking lot to come and see me to say goodbye. And his mom was just in awe because he didn't really talk to people,
Yeah.
and especially men, only
Yeah.
dad. And so he dressed up as an officer for the Halloween parade.
Nice.
And we got our picture taken, and they gave me a mug with Officer Austin and Officer Ben.
Nice. That's
So-
awesome, man.
When
Very
you guys
cool.
ask and everybody wants to know, listen, in this elementary gig with the school resource officer, it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah. People don't understand the different avenues you could take as a police officer. Like people think, cops and robbers. Like, man,
Right.
but you can make effects on people. Like you have the opportunity to go into these schools with the kids on that level and do that. All the way from doing narcotics bust.
Yeah.
So the realm is just like so far, like that you can go each way, and this way, I think every way is awesome as a police officer. You're able to do that, so
No, it's good stuff. Like
Yeah,
I said, total rock star when you walk in the cafeteria.
that's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Were you like, hey, flipping your gun around?
no, none of that.
Hey, like,
No.
do it again. Yeah, you like that?
It was funny because I had somebody ask me one time, why are you opening up milk cartons and cheese sticks? And I thought about it. I said, well, my daughter's in kindergarten,
Yeah.
and I would want that SRO to open up my daughter's milk carton. So why am I not going to do that for these kids?
Yeah,
So, and it's been great. Like I said, 10 years later, still doing it.
yeah. Put yourself into the most extreme, scariest position. Somebody comes in to hurt those kids. What are you gonna do? Like you're gonna no way, Jose, right?
It's game on.
Game on, right?
Yep.
So even so, like you say, your daughter graduated, kids grew up, they're up, but yet you still see them as like those are my kids.
I actually, when our 5th graders do their little graduation ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
I've mentioned before, I said, I have 2 daughters at home,
Yeah.
but I have 1,100 sons and daughters here at the school.
Nice.
And they love it.
Nice.
They love it. I mean, the parents, I've met some really great parents, great kids that come back and see you, and it's It is. It's totally rewarding.
It's awesome. Was that your question or mine?
That was mine.
Damn it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get the last question.
Yeah.
Last question. You know, I got the thing in my throat. I'm trying to hold back the thing in my throat. Try not to cry. Oh, this is a good story. All right, so now that we know which grade levels you work, I'm assuming this is a no, but has he ever had to arrest or detain a student or teacher?
No.
Okay, there you go.
I had to think about the teacher thing because
Yeah.
I did have to do a pretty lengthy police report on a teacher that got out of line and battered some students.
Wow.
Simple battery.
Hmm.
And but I didn't physically arrest her. I wrote a very lengthy report, and like Officer Jay here mentioned earlier, the Broward County School Board Police,
Yeah.
they actually came in and removed her because they did their own investigation on
Is
her.
that more like maybe like grabbing a student by the shirt or grabbing him by the arm and yanking him or something?
Yeah, it was that with a little bit of a pushing and shoving that was witnessed by about 6 to 8.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like taking witness statements from 8 and 10-year-olds and putting 6 to 8 of them in a police report. So it was lengthy.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, I can kind of go into that because I can give a little more information on mine.
You were a school resource
When I was a school resource officer
at high school.
I was at an elementary school and a high school. In
Yeah.
elementary school, one of the teachers just was kind of a problem for a long time. Like he had issues where a lot of parents weren't comfortable with kind of, working with the. Oh, no, I'd speak loud enough. I
Yeah,
project.
but you were like this.
Yeah,
No, sorry.
they. But my mouth comes around. They. So I would get a lot of reports that weren't necessarily criminal in nature,
Yeah.
but they were again where those school board police detectives kind of come in. They look at policy and procedure from a school board perspective. So they had pulled him out a few times, and then this guy ended up at one point coming in and he threatened to hurt himself. But this was after the school was closed for the day, so there was no students in there and everything.
Yeah.
So I'd take him into custody for a Baker Act, a mental health evaluation to send him off to the hospital. And then, of course, I mean, not excited about it, but in the high school, we would have fights, we would have drug transactions, that kind of stuff. So, I'd take a lot of kids into custody when I was at the high school.
Which happens at almost every high school.
Right,
Yeah.
right. The biggest thing is because, in my opinion, the fights can move into escalate. Yeah, there you go. Escalate into worse things where weapons come and all this kind of stuff. And they have a tendency to, when you're on a campus with 2,200 individuals, they have a tendency to sprout other discord and other problems amongst the students that are in the school. So you got to kind of nip it in the bud, like, quick.
Survived, yes?
Yeah, you have survived. The interrogation, interview and interrogation portion.
What's in the cup? Guys, what's in my cup? Blackout Coffee Company. We joined up with them. I've been drinking it and I enjoy it, and I think you may enjoy it as well. So you can go over to our website and click the link, or you can just go to their website, blackoutcoffee.com, and use our coupon code to get 10% off. The code is DSP10. So go over, check it out.
So congratulations, you survived the interview and interrogation. See, the lights are back to blue now.
I noticed that.
Nice
Good
and cool.
stuff. Yes.
Bringing the temperature down. All right, because you were sweating a little bit on
A little bit.
those questions. I know. So we were talking about school resource officer. You were mentioning that, and we really didn't get into the weeds because we were drifting along,
Rocking and rolling.
Yeah, we took the little side river, and we're somewhere else. Let's get into that. Let's get into the weeds of school resource officer. And I had a question for you, because there's a movement right now to get rid of school resource officers that are in the schools. For some reason, some parents somewhere don't want armed police officers in the schools. And you don't have to sell me. And I know you don't have to sell Justin because he was a school resource officer.
Yeah.
But what say you? What say you to that?
Why would they want to do that?
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
Yeah. So much, like having a kid, a couple of them now, and sending them to school, knowing that there's a school resource officer there, it's a peace of mind for me. Because I'm a police officer, and I'm like, man, I wish I could be with my son or my daughter, not in school yet, but she will be going probably to your school. Figure it out.
Yeah.
And then, so I was like, man, I wish I could be there, but having that peace of mind that somebody's there, like watching over my children, and I never really got into, like, I say hi to the officer or whoever's there, but I haven't really gotten to know that officer. But hearing, hopefully they have your same mentality that you have when you're like, those are my kids. You understand? You're like, I hope that they have that same mentality. And it's just a peace of mind sending my kid off to school and being like, yeah, you know, there's somebody there that's over watching them, making sure that they're good.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm there for.
Yeah.
And I will never forget the day that Sandy Hook happened.
Yes.
I was, we were doing that. Remember the holiday bazaar, holiday gift shop thing that you did when you were in school?
Yeah.
Where you bought the little stuff and brought it home to mom and dad?
The holiday
The
shop.
cheap tchotchkes.
Yeah.
from mom.
I would get $20 and bring home like 25 gifts.
Yeah.
That. So,
Hey, Mom, can I have money to buy you your Christmas present?
I got you this gold bracelet for $1.50.
yeah, so I'm doing that holiday bazaar, and we were doing it outside.
Yeah.
And, you know, we got parents on campus that are there watching the kids. And, you know, because we allowed the parents to come in to be a part of it, to help out. And all of a sudden Sandy Hook happens, and these parents are all finding out about it. And when you have a mom come up to you and hug you, crying, thanking you for being there, taking care of their kid and protecting their kid, I mean, how emotional is that?
Yeah.
And then, you know, for you to say you don't want an armed law enforcement officer to take care of your kid or watch your kid while you're at work, you know, I mean, there's people working all day long. Yeah, they're thinking about their kids, but they're not thinking about every waking minute of what their kid's doing. And if they're protected, now they have no worries because they know that a law enforcement officer's there.
Yeah. And I think that's a big thing, and it might not be because you're at the elementary level, right?
Yeah.
But it might be more of a movement for like we were talking on break, the high school level.
And I could see that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, listen, elementary, these kids love police officers. They all want to be police officers. When, you know, the Halloween costumes, it's either police officers or firefighters, things like that.
Yeah.
You know, when they get to that middle school level, the puberty's kicking in.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I don't want to deal with authority. I don't want this guy telling me that I got to, you know, not skip class and I got to go back to class.
Yeah.
And then when it gets to the high school level, it's a totally different ballgame.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and it's just a great way to continue the communication, you know, between children and police officers, letting them know that they're safe and stuff, and that if they do have a problem, they can go to an officer. And that's what we always would preach to them, especially when they were in the elementary school, working that way, you know. And then into high school, you know, with mentorship and kind of helping to guide them, and if they're confused or if they're, you know, worried about, you know, what they're going to do after school and stuff like that, they would come in my office and I'd talk to them about that kind of stuff, even though there was school counselors there.
Yeah.
And you might have bullies in elementary school, right? But then you might have bullies in high school that it's like robberies that are going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Actual serious crimes,
Yeah,
yeah.
like there's adult crimes being committed by children, juveniles.
Yeah, they're still a
17.
juvenile, under 18.
Yeah. So, but there's adult crimes. I mean, why not have an officer in there at the disposal of the students? You know, if I might not want to call 911 as a kid, but I'll see my school resource officer and let them know what's going on. Or say, I might not want to call 911 if I know there's going to be a fight where there might be a gun involved,
Right.
after school at the fighting tree or something.
Yeah.
But I'll
they tell
go
an
see Officer Ben.
administrator
Yeah.
or the officer, and then the administrator usually comes and gets the officer, and then they start working on that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's that line that, you know, might not be used all the time, but it's there for them to use it. And when you take the school resource officer out, you know, they might not want to reach out, right?
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, you're on the elementary school level, but I'm sure you get, you know, still your little tips here and there, no?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, we these kids, I don't want to say they're tattletales, but you know, they know stuff that's going on. You know, in even you're talking about, robberies, but we've had, stolen phones at the elementary level. And, hey, Johnny's got it. It's in his backpack,
Yeah, I mean,
And
that's
then you go up, with administration. Hey, Johnny, what's in your backpack?
Yeah.
Nothing. Oh, really? And administration looks in the backpack. There's the iPhone.
That's nuts. Because the iPhones are like $1,000, at the small level, $1,000 or whatever. So you got little kids basically taking something that's worth $1,000.
Yeah, a felony
Imagine
in the
your
state of
day
Florida.
when we went to school.
Yeah.
You had anything that cost $1,000 on you?
No.
No. Maybe some pencils that they stole from
I had
you.
an empty beeper case because pagers were big.
Yeah.
when we were in elementary
Somebody
school.
stole your beeper?
I didn't have a pager in elementary school, but I never got one.
Yeah.
But the kids would wear pager cases
Yeah.
inside their
Oh.
pocket.
That was
clip
to look
hung
cool.
out. That was big time.
I had a beeper and a pager. I was really, really cool.
I had a beeper. My first one.
What's a
was
beeper?
Super segue.
For some people that don't know what beepers are. What's a beeper?
It was a device that you called from a phone,
Yeah.
and it would make a beeping noise, and then you could type in a number code, usually your phone number, so that way that a person knew to go find a phone, because it was not a cell phone, go find a phone and call that number, which Ben or somebody was on the other end waiting for that phone call.
Yeah.
My first one was Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew had a cut the code out, and you get a Mountain Dew pager, and it had like a Mountain Dew sticker on it, but it was a legit Motorola pager. Motorola Renegade, and it had like 1 year of service with like cutting out all the little proofs of purchase.
Oh my god. The beep 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 beep. That was the right? That was the
Yeah.
beep 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 beep
Yeah.
beep beep beep. And then if you got the pager, you can change the ringtone.
Yeah.
Go beep beep boop boop beep beep boop. So yeah, I had that.
Oh, nerds!
Good
So
luck
one-
finding one of those payphones today to make that phone call on.
Oh man, yeah. It's all still
Yeah.
old school.
But people are like, some people might be memory lane. Some people that are listening, aspiring to be police officers, like, what are they talking about? But
it was the first way of text messaging.
yeah, on the pagers, or you can 143. I love you.
Oh, the beeper codes.
321. I miss you.
07734. Hello.
Hello.
Beeper codes were the best because I had so like in high school you couldn't call your girlfriend her house because dad might pick up and be like, it's after 9 o'clock, why are you calling my daughter or whatever. So she would page me to call her, and then she would call movie phone, another thing that doesn't really exist anymore. Because, and for those that are listening, movie phone was basically a listing of all the movie times read off by a person with a really special voice. And so she'd just sit there on hold, and she had caller waiting. So it would beep, beep, and she'd change lines, so the house phone would never ring.
Wow.
And then we could sit there and talk on the phone.
They must have hated you. The parents must have
I was
hated
an
you.
excellent boyfriend. I was an excellent person.
Yeah.
So
That was the secret squirrel stuff right there.
Well, you went through a lot, man.
Sneaky stuff, man. I should have been in the narcotics unit. I know all about the
All right.
sneaky undercover.
How about 80085? 80085.
Tell us.
Type it in your calculator.
Put it in the comments what 800.
Oh, you can't see. Your
Oh, I can try.
80085. Put it in your calculator at home.
Where is this episode going?
No, so school resource officers are needed inside the schools.
I definitely agree with you, sir.
Yeah, man. I mean, you had a hiccup with the situation in Parkland. Hiccup. I would call it more than a hiccup. To put it in perspective, before the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas situation happened, Parkland, which city the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas is located in, is called Parkland, and that is was the safest city in the state of Florida at one point. And then that happened.
Crime rate
Yes.
and stuff.
Yeah, with crime rates and everything that happened, obviously, you went to shit. But there's, like, how do you justify saying, you know what, I don't want a school resource officer? Now, mind you, that situation is different in itself because of whatever. And it's not a bashing podcast. We're not going to bash what happened. But it failed to do their job, the officer on scene. But given that, like, as a parent, how the hell can you say, no, I don't want my kid, my high school student, going to school where there's an armed police officer.
Yeah.
No.
No.
So you got to be out of your mind. As a parent myself, hell no. You know, I want 2 there if you can afford it. Give me 2 there, and then you know, to go off of that is school resource officers we were talking about know the lay of the land. Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know that school inside and out. Like Officer Jay had mentioned earlier, that's your beat, that's your zone.
Yeah.
You know it. You know who's supposed to be there, who's not supposed to be there. I mean, I know my parents. I know what cars they drive. And it's even funny sometimes when they get a new car and I'm like, oh, a new ride.
Yeah.
How do you know? Because I knew what car you had before that.
Yeah.
So
But then imagine I'm that I get my way and I don't want you in that school anymore. You get pulled out. Now, how many times, go back to before you guys were school resource, how many times did you patrol and go inside of a school? And it's not because you had no interest, it's because you're out there handling calls for service.
only when you were called into the school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and then, so imagine responding to some critical incident in there where you got to go to hallway C, classroom 305. You're like, where the hell is that? So
Yeah.
an advantage of having school resource officers in the school.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things that I used to do when I was in there is I would call, especially when there was a training officer in the surrounding zones that had a trainee, say, come on in, let's just walk to school, take a little tour, give me a little time of being with a peer instead of school faculty and students,
Yeah.
and do some police talk because you don't always get to talk to cops.
Yeah.
And let's just walk to school and kind of give you guys a lay of the land and stuff, because I knew that I'd never seen that kind of thing when I was working the zones, and never really thought to take advantage of that opportunity of this is that person that's inside the school. So, for those officers that are out there, if you've never been in the school that's in your zone or even the neighboring zones, go call that guy or girl and say, hey, let's go walk around or whatever, or hey, you need me to go run and get you some coffee or something like that, because that's another one of those things that post Stoneman Douglas, at least in our city, and I'm sure in many others, the school resource officers are really nailed down tight to those schools. There's no, hey, I'm going to run to 7-Eleven real quick and get a coffee, or I'm going to run to Starbucks, get a coffee, or I'm going to go grab lunch real quick and come back, or go pick up a letter that I got in my mailbox back at the PD. All that stuff's done after hours or after the bell rings at the end of the day. So get to know that officer, especially if they're of the same jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And
And we work in fairly populated, I can say where I work is very populated, but fairly populated areas where there's not only one school in your jurisdiction. And you might have some other people that are listening that are applying for other agencies where there's only one school in their jurisdiction. So it might behoove them to go, you like that word? To go and take a tour of the school and walk around. And I know where I work, there's hundreds of schools. So it's just, it's good. We have trainings where they actually go to a school on a summer vacation or something, and then we'll train in there.
Yeah.
And as a school resource officer, you were saying that you guys actually do trainings in there as well, right?
Yeah, we do. We train in the summertime, teacher work days. When the teachers are back at school and they're finishing up those final grades for the end of semester or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
We might be doing a range day. We might be doing a defensive tactics day, things like that. So we, do active shooter training. And
So it's a lot of training involved around it. It's not just sign up for the school thing and then go wave parents through the parking line.
right, yeah.
Is there any training for that? Yeah. You can only drop them off there. You get people dropping them off in the grass and stuff.
all over the place. Yeah.
Guilty, by the way, guilty, guilty. And it has to be a car. Doesn't have to be stopped. It could be slow rolling. I'm like, get out,
Go.
roll. They learn how to
Seen that
roll.
a few times.
Yeah, they learn how to roll. All right, we're rolling. There's a big truck in front of us. Go.
It's a nice soft patch of grass.
They're
Yeah.
in high school, by the way. This is not my elementary school kid. They're already good. So, with that being said, how about some mugs that are on the table that are alien mugs? Where'd that mug come from?
Violation doesn't belong.
It's black and it has some white writing, but what is that mug about, man? Tell
Oh,
us
that
what
would
you're
be
doing.
a Dad Life mug, sir.
That's right.
Dad Life.
Dad Life, and that is just so happens to be also your YouTube channel name,
That is my YouTube channel name.
which we're going to run right above your head right now. Where is it going to be?
it's going to be right up there.
Or
right up there. Or right up there.
it's going to be above your head
It's
somewhere.
going to be above my head. Yes.
So you got a channel about dad life.
Yes, I do.
What gives? What's it about?
So like we were talking about earlier, what do SROs do in the summer?
Yeah.
Well,
vacay.
this SRO takes some vacation time. I usually save up my time. I try not to take any time during the school year. They don't really want us taking time off during the school year. Again, we're married to that school. We own that school, so they want you to be there. And I try to save my time, and I use it during the summer. And so in the summer, I'm taking off 4 or 5 weeks. And what do you do in the summer? You spend time with your family, because I miss out some of those things with my daughters and my wife during the school year. So pandemic comes in. I'm cooking, trying to figure out things that they like and don't like. And I got the old, Dad, cook something different. We're tired of chicken and steak and hamburgers. So
Is there anything else, by the way?
Yeah,
Or
there's
something like
pizza,
that?
pizza.
Oh, pizza.
pizza. So I went on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I found a channel for a guy making Philly cheesesteaks. His name was Mr. Homeowner. That was a channel name.
Uh-huh.
And watch this guy make Philly cheesesteaks on his Blackstone griddle. That's what I have, by the way, is a Blackstone griddle. Not a regular grill. It's like a flat top that you can cook on.
Yeah.
Nothing falls through. And so I send my daughter to the grocery store to get all these ingredients, and I make Philly cheesesteaks. How'd you do that? Where'd you come up with that idea? So I told them I found it on YouTube. And
YouTube's great, by the way.
it is. It's awesome.
Anything.
So my youngest daughter's like, Dad, we are so doing this. I took a TV class in high school, and we are going to make a YouTube channel for you, and we're going to video you making stuff on the Blackstone griddle.
Yeah.
And that's how we did it.
So his
So
daughter Savannah shoots all of the videos on her camera and edits all of it.
Nice.
Yes.
I feel her pain. Shout out.
yeah,
Because that is not an easy thing to do. Is editing is time consuming.
she's awesome with it.
What? So before we get into what is a griddle? Griddle.
A griddle. It
Yeah.
is.
I know what it is.
It's a flat top cook,
Mhm.
very similar to like those ones when you go to the hibachi restaurants and they
Yes.
cook in front of you.
Mhm.
So there's 4 burners underneath, and it burns the cold rolled steel and makes it nice and hot. And I cook on there. Nothing falls through. No rice, no eggs, no tater tots, nothing. All right there. And it's like a form of a barbecue grill, but it's a griddle.
Yeah. It's a hibachi to be known.
Yeah, like
And-
like hibachi.
Or if you're out at night and you're at the club and, they're making
club.
those- they make
Polish sausages.
Polish sausages or the Philly cheesesteaks that go in a
Yeah.
hot dog bun that costs $35 for that in a bottle of
with
water.
a $6 bottle of water.
Delicious, by the way,
Zephyr Hills.
the most delicious Philly cheesesteak you'll ever eat in your life.
2,000 calories right there. Bang, done.
2,000 calories and $38 later, you're like, let me get another one. And they put the nacho cheese. They don't even have real cheese.
Yeah.
Just nacho cheese
It's
all
all
over it.
dripping off the side of the sandwich.
It's delicious.
If you ate it sober, you would probably take one bite.
It's true. It's true. That or the big pizza slices that they have.
Oh,
the
yeah.
big greasy pizza slices. Yeah,
Yeah.
also $35 for a slice. You eat that, you're like, it's delicious. Then you eat it like if you go on a regular day when you're not partaking in the club activities. Is that good enough to clean it up?
Oh, I'm just reminiscing about being able to go out at night and be in a crowded area.
Oh, without wearing a mask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
pre-COVID.
so that's what a griddle is.
So that's a griddle.
But you clean your griddle after you make it, not like these other guys.
No,
that
I
leave all
do.
kinds of. But that's the flavor, man. That's this tastes like Polish hot dog.
Puts all kind of oil on it though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
you
you
do?
got to put some oil down, to keep things from burning on it. So I use canola oil, so
Okay.
it's
Or
good,
an entire stick of butter.
or an entire stick of butter. But that was some good filet
My
mignon.
wife had one of his filet mignons. He puts like half a stick of butter and then just throws the 6-ounce filet on top of it.
Searing
and,
it,
and it's
baby.
like, whoa. She
It
was
was-
like, that's like the best filet I've ever had. I go,
It was
"It's 'cause
good.
It was a half a stick of butter. And she goes, oh, I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
So this is the portion of the podcast where you can bring out some food you made. So where
Waiting. Surprise.
where are we looking? Which way is it
Um,
coming from? The food that you made, of course, that Justin told you to bring. The griddle food.
I don't know if that text came through on my phone.
iPhones.
That will be episode number 2 when I come
That's
back,
right.
sir.
We are, well, you didn't invite yourself. On the break, we invited you back just to let her know. Well, he invited himself. No, you're coming back. You're coming back, and we're going to set the mics up on your hot griddle. That's right, and we'll be talking on the hot griddle like hibachi.
We
That's
might have to bring the Donut Shop podcast to Dad Life.
Ooh, can we sit at like the thing and you flip
And
it?
I'll do the volcano with the little flames coming out for you.
Oh yeah, you do that?
We totally could do that. He's got
Yeah.
a table
I'm
in
down
front
to
of it.
do that. Just let's not melt the mics and we'll be
Yeah.
good to go. I'm down to do that. So you on your channel is not only grill because it's Dad Life. It's not grill Dad Life.
It is. It's Dad Life.
So you do other things.
We do. We have some horses and chickens at the house, and so we incorporate everything into it. You know, fixing little things. I have a kegerator. So
What's that?
cold beer on tap at all times.
Oh, sounds delicious.
It is very good.
All right, so this is a
Refrigerator
portion
for kegs.
This is a portion of the podcast that you bring out some beer from the
Yes.
kegerator. So Justin, where
Some Kona. He's
where
big
did
on
you,
Kona.
Yeah, the kegerator's on wheels, but I couldn't tow it behind the car to get here.
it's big.
It is. It's big.
Okay.
It's kind of like a size of a refrigerator, small
that.
refrigerator, like that.
All right, there you go.
Yes.
With a beer
So-
tap in it.
We did a video on changing out a keg, cleaning out the beer lines, and it was funny because the videographer, editor, that girl Savannah that we talk about,
Yes.
she drove me because she's got her license now. So she drove me to go get the new keg. So I turned the camera around on her and says, "Hey, everybody, there's Savannah taking me to go get a new keg of beer."
Yeah.
So
Did like a little vlog.
Could you ever
on it.
imagine
Yeah.
the day that your daughter would be driving to take you to get a keg of the beer? Keg of beer?
No. That's one of the reasons why we call it Dad Life, because I incorporate the family in a lot of my videos and the things that we do. So we're having a good time
crazy.
with it.
And then, and not to go back to the SRO because we're on Dad Life, but like being around kids, do you notice how out of style you are now? Because I got some teenagers, and they're like, "Don't even do that! Oh my God, you're so lame."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What? How do I become out of date? I thought I was hip all the way through."
They should be proud to have a Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yes.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't do any of that Zelle stuff or the Cash App. Or my daughter's like, "Dad, you don't do Zelle?
Yeah.
Really?"
You still carry like loose change in your pocket?
I have a money clip with cash in my pocket.
There you go.
I do.
Yeah, that's good. There you go, man. I don't know if we're allowed to get old. At least when I used to listen to music, I don't know how I can listen to that as an old person. Like I used to like Bone Thugs and Harmony. And one of their songs like Mo Murda, Mo Murda. So I don't remember like driving on Mo like Mo Murda. Like and I had how are your kids gonna notice you? Like that's cool until I'm whatever. Long story short,
turn that on the way home tonight.
Yeah.
yeah, because now like my parents are like, well, you can't tell by the way I use my walk. You know, like, how deep is your love? How deep is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to know. Gibbs? No? Any Gibbs? No?
Yeah,
All right, I lost
this
Yeah.
episode might get demonetized. That was so perfect.
You're like-
it sounds like we're using actual Bee Gees.
You're
Yeah.
like, hey Google, stop playing. So, anyways, going back, I just thought that it was cool because your daughter's driving you, and who the hell would have thought one day that your little girl is going to be driving you to get a beer, to go get a keg, and then like the whole plan on your SRO and dealing with kids and just noticing how not cool.
The little-
at least I thought it was cool.
The
not
little
cool.
girl that used to ask about Sebastian when she was in kindergarten,
Yeah.
the guy that I met my first day there, and now she's driving me to go get a new keg of beer.
Crazy.
Oh,
It's
man.
crazy, man. So, I also noticed because I perused Dad Life, a tour, almost like the Epcot, food
and wine
and I
festival.
said Wood and Fine Festival.
Food.
Wood and Fine
Yes.
Festival.
Food and wine
Yeah.
around the pool.
Yeah.
So that idea came up from my older daughter, who's kind of like a little Disney guru. She loves going there and going to Food and Wine. Somebody else I know
Yeah.
that goes there quite a bit. So came up with
I'll
the
be up there in 2
idea
weeks.
and asked Officer Jay and his lovely bride to join us.
Mm-hmm.
And so we cooked for Food and Wine around the pool, but we
Yeah.
did 8 different countries.
Ah.
So we started off in Mexico, and I made up some nice fajitas, and we all ate that. And then we moved to the next country, and so it was just something different. We put it out there, and my daughter's idea was, hey, if we can't go to Epcot and do food and wine, let's bring Epcot to us and do food and wine around the pool. And we did it.
Awesome. Let's do food and wine around the podcast table. Every break,
There you go.
a different dish.
Yeah.
And we'll get the drunk Phillies. We should dub it. This is called the drunk Philly, and you just
Drunk
get
Philly. You just pour a little bit of beer on
drunk
top. or
Philly.
whatever.
You get the hot dog buns. You put them out.
Well, when you guys move the studio to Dad Life,
Uh-huh.
I'll cook on the Blackstone Griddle.
On location.
There you go, on location while you guys are doing your podcast.
I like it.
Let's do it.
Well,
Yeah.
do you want to touch on anything before we go? Because I know when you get a new YouTube channel, you were telling me on break that you told all your friends to go and subscribe and do me that favor. Why don't you tell our friends? Huh? Look over here.
Hey, Donut Shop podcast people, subscribe to Dad Life. It's up there, yeah, or up there.
Yeah.
Somewhere
it is.
up there.
That's a veteran move.
Subscribe to my channel. Help me out. I appreciate it.
That's the veteran move. Because I used to do this, and now I just go like this.
Yeah, there you go.
And it hits it one way or another. It hits
So
it.
you're gonna make one of the corners.
Because you sit there too long thinking, is it in this corner? Because everything's like a mirror.
You never know with this guy when he does the editing where it's going to be, too.
Yeah. The camera's gonna be on Nick the whole time you're talking.
With that being said, my friend, thank you for coming. It was great meeting you for the first time ever in person.
Yes.
And we invite you to come back.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Another episode
In the books.
in the books.
Calling all units, calling all units. Donut Shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.